Hey, what's up? It's Symphony here. Subscribe to my brother Mr. Creepy as Hell channel, and when you're watching his videos, make sure you stay in one piece.
My name is Charlie, and 2 years ago I worked as an overnight security guard at Lakeside Mall. It was a great job and it paid $25 an hour, so there was no way I was going to pass it up. At the time, the opportunity couldn't come fast enough. I was laid off my previous job, and I was very intrigued that I got this one. On my first day, a security guard who's been there for 20 years showed me the ropes of everything about how I guard things and how I just do walk-arounds every hour just to make sure everything is alright and nothing is out of the ordinary. He's been there for 20 years and he recently switched from night shift duty to day shift duty. I don't know why. I never bothered to ask him, and I feel like it wasn't really none of my business. After he got done showing me around, he stayed with me for a couple of hours and then he left, and I had the whole mall to myself. The mall also shut down at around 10 o'clock. So by the time everyone, the workers from different departments left, the customers and everything else, the mall grew very silent and quiet. The mall was so quiet to the point you can hear a pin drop. Maybe just a few things like the store settling in or machines of other places of the store making little humming noises. That was about it. It was quiet. At around 1 o'clock a.m., I got up to do my routine walking around the store, checking everything, make sure nothing was abnormal. As I was doing my walk around, that's when I thought and I swore I could have saw movement out of the corner of my eyes. It seemed like they were heading towards the food court. As I was going over there, I initially thought that maybe it could have been a homeless person trying to sneak and stay in. That way they can have shelter, which that's something that this mall does not allow. So I kept going up to the food court because I was going to confront the person who stayed here without leaving. But when I got to the food court, I saw no one. It was empty and very quiet. But that quietness didn't last until I heard something over the speakers of the mall. It was weird music. The music, if I had to describe it, it felt like a piano was being played, but it felt distorted. It had a very eerie element to it. I tried everything in my power to stay calm, despite my heart thumping 10,000 miles per hour. I convinced myself that maybe a homeless person got into the control room and was messing with the speakers. But when I got there, the control room was empty. No one was there. The music kept going, and then it abruptly stopped. I was about to turn around and leave the control room, but when I did that, something stood in front of the door, blocking my exit. And what I saw was something logic could not explain at all. It looked like a tall black figure. And what I mean by a tall black figure, I mean this being was not human. It was really tall, black and skinny. The face was the only thing that wasn't black. It was actually a powdered white color. It had this mix between a skeleton head and some kind of extraterrestrial head. The thing just looked at me as I couldn't even barely catch my breath. And then it made this weird gurgling noise, like it was swimming underwater. It walked it into the control room and walked it closer and closer towards me. Eventually, it lifted up its bony black fingers and grabbed onto my hands. When it grabbed onto my hands, I can feel a very strong grip. Despite this creature being skinny, it was pretty strong. This creature held onto my arms, and it kept on making that gurgling noise. And then eventually it opened up its mouth. Its mouth revealed rows and rows and rows and rows across rows of sharp, daggered teeth. The thing kept on making a gurgling noise. I wanted to yell, but I was too petrified with fear. I just stood there as the creature's mouth began to ascend closer and closer to my arms. As the creature was making its way towards my arms, I felt so dizzy that I blacked out. When I came to, an hour had passed. It was 2:30 a.m. I felt this horrific pain on my arms. When I looked, it was a purplish, bluish mark. I guess it was from the creature. I saw no signs of that creature lurking anywhere. It seemed like I was safe, but I was still shaken up to the point I just called my supervisor and I just quit. There was no fucking way I was gonna stay at that store and come in every night to experience that. It wasn't gonna happen. I got me another security job where I'd be working in an electronics store during the daytime